Hey guys, this is Ryan from Razzle, and I am really excited to be back. I know we took a short hiatus, about a month break, to adjust for the next school year and everything, and just getting adjusted. And there wasn't a lot of movies coming out during that time frame anyway, any big movies coming out during that time frame, but we are back and we're excited to hit on some of a lot of movies coming out these next couple months, a lot of big movies I'm really pumped about and really excited to review and talk about with you guys. So really excited to be back. Just wanted to get that out of the way right away. Speaking of good movies, I just got the chance to watch Black Mass. Black Mass is Scott Cooper's newest film starring Johnny Depp, Joel Edgerton, Kevin Bacon, Dakota Johnson, just it's a giant cast that I can't even think of it all on the top of my head. Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch, huge cast, giant cast. And that's where I'm going to start this video. I'm not going to mess around. The cast was phenomenal in the film. Everybody in the cast brought it and was absolutely fantastic. The absolute standout, of course, being Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp put up his greatest performance, one of his greatest performances that I've ever seen. Just him totally encapsulating who Jimmy Whitey Bulger is, just capturing like these crazy mannerisms. He was hard to read throughout the whole film, which was phenomenal. He was spectacular. He was creepy. He was you felt sympathy for him. You felt a connection to him. You felt like at times he was a good person. Other times you felt he was just this evil person. And that was all, a lot of that comes down to what Johnny Depp, really most of that comes down to what Johnny Depp brought to the table. He truly was magnificent. Honestly, I would not be surprised if he gets an Oscar nomination for the film. Unfortunately, I think there's too many flaws in the film itself that is going to take away from that. Before I get into that, let's talk more about the cast. Benedict Cumberbatch was really good as well. I thought he did a really good job with his accent, sometimes maybe a little over the top, and you felt at times he dipped a little bit into his British accent sometimes, but other than that, I thought he was fantastic. Dakota Johnson had a very small role, but again, she continues to impress me. I know a lot of people are giving her a lot of flack because of her being involved with the 50 Shades franchise, but I think she is a very talented actress. I think there's a bright future for her. I think she's very talented, and even though she had a small role, I was very impressed with her. Another huge standout for me in this film is another actor that's really been impressing me with a lot of what he's done, Joel Edgerton. His role was a lot more subtle, but I thought he really brought it. I thought without having Johnny Depp overshadowing everybody in the film, I think he could have been a really big standout positive for the film. He was really great in the film too, in a more subtle factor. The rest of the cast was fantastic. I'm not going to get into it too much because there's a lot I have to talk about right now. Some more positives, there was a lot of really great scenes in there. I don't want to go into specifics because obviously no spoilers, but there's a couple scenes in there that are just very well done. Like just really, I don't want to say creepy, but tension filled, and just you couldn't read where the scene was going. And I like how they handle a lot of the different, some of the characters. I thought was really, that was another positive for me. Another positive, I thought I really liked the cinematography. I thought the cinematography was great, and the color palette, all that in the composition. I loved the way the film looked. So that was another huge positive for me. I'm going to jump over to the negatives now. I had really high expectations going into this film, like insanely high expectations. This has been a movie I've been looking forward to for a very long time, but this film did not meet my expectations. The only thing that met my expectations in the film at all was Johnny Depp just being as tremendous as he was. Other than that, the film actually wasn't as good as I had hoped it would be. Unfortunately, a big part of what makes this film is where this film lacks the most is in its direction and its writing. Unfortunately, that I don't like the direction they went with the film, because the film is very jumpy. The pacing is a little all over the place, and not just that, but like just the progression of the scenes never felt like it was building tension towards something greater. Like I never really felt like I was watching the rise to power of Whitey Bulger and then the fall of the power. That arc, I never felt that as we were watching. It just felt like a lot of random scenes where different things were happening. And it didn't really feel like any scene was leading to another scene, building to anything. It just kind of felt like a lot of different scenes thrown together where we got to see some interesting historical portrayals of different things that happened, but it never properly built to a proper, strong narrative. And that was that's a nail in the coffin negative for me for this film. Another negative for the film for me is I feel like the film was probably 30 minutes too short, and I know I'm usually the opposite. I like films to be tighter and short, and I like them to be as tight as possible. That's the inner editor in me. But my problem is with this film is I don't think we got enough time to develop different relationships from the different characters. I think we could have seen a better tie of relationships between Whitey Bulger and his brother, and Whitey Bulger and his wife, or the mother of his child. Whitey Bulger and John Connolly, who is played by Joel Edgerton. All these relationships I think could have been built better. I think the best one was probably Whitey Bulger and John Connolly, but it wasn't even that well done, unfortunately. I mean, the actors were not phenomenal, but I don't think there was enough time for us really to feel a bond. So without feeling a bond between any of the real characters and being able to feel personal with the characters, it took away from the film, and it made it hard as I was watching the film to feel invested in the characters and invested in the narrative. So that was that's a huge blow to the film for me. So yeah, I pretty much covered almost everything I can, and I'm starting to lose my voice. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Black Mass, I'm gonna give a 7 out of 10. Yeah, Black Mass, I'm giving a 7 out of 10. That's unfortunate because of a lot of that is coming from the lack of progression in the narrative, the writing, the direction, all that. But the positives are great. There's a lot of amazing scenes. Like, there's one scene in particular that, like, this entire scene was one of the best scenes I've seen all year in any film because it was just so well done, and it created tension in itself without any help from the rest of the film. So I was very happy with that. Of course, the acting was phenomenal. Johnny Depp put out his best performance that I've seen in a long time. Since, I can't think of a performance he's had better at the moment right now, because he was really phenomenal. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is Ryan from Razzle. You can subscribe, like our channel. We're gonna be putting out more content more often. There's a lot of really exciting movies coming out. This is my favorite time of the movie season, when we get these Oscar bait films, these indie films. These are my favorite films to watch and to review. So I'm really excited for the next upcoming weeks to talk about some of these films. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and have a good one.